Today is all about the Skywatcher Star Adventurer GTI. I've wanted one of these since they came out, and I'm really happy that I finally got one for the channel because I'm building a second mount, and I think this is going to be really perfect. So before we get into it, I just want to let you guys know I have no affiliation with Skywatcher at all, sadly. And in this video, we're going to unbox it. We're also going to assemble it and mount it to see what it looks like. We're also going to take a really good look at it, see what the build quality is going to be like. We're also going to see how easy it is to pair it up with the SynScan app on my Android phone. And this is going to work really well with the iPhone as well. And I'm going to also show you some examples of payloads. All the videos I've seen on the GTI just kind of mention, hey, you can put up to 11 pounds of gear on this mount, but if you're a beginner, you don't really know what that 11 pounds looks like. So I'm going to give you some visual examples that I think would be really helpful. All right, so first things first, let's unbox it. All right, this knife is a little bit more dangerous than the other one, my bad. All right, let's do this. I'm still getting over my cold, guys, so if I sound congested and whatnot, it's because of that. This thing has been sitting in my living room for maybe almost a week now, and I just want to play with it, all right? So figured, hey, this is a good time to do a video. All right. Got this. Ooh, pretty excited. Ooh. Got a couple boxes in here. Right? We got a user manual. Hey, let me drop this down a little bit. This is ridiculous. Hold on. All right, it's a little bit better. Comes with a USB cable, and this is just a standard USB A to B. We have a counterweight bar, probably, I'm guessing. Yep, this is a counterweight bar. Ooh, and I like this. This has a legit toe saver on it. The other Star Adventurer counterweight bar did not. And I'm assuming this is also part of the counterweight bar. All right. And here's the mount. Oh my gosh. This thing is super tiny. Look at this. It might be, I don't know. I mean, I think it's could be a little bit bigger than the AM5, but the AM5 is not this light. This is super lightweight. What do we got here? This is empty. We have an empty box here. And also, this is pretty heavy. I'm pretty sure these are the counterweights, right? That looks really aggressive, right? This knife, it's gonna stop using that. All right, here we go. Okay, we get two counterweights. So this, let's see what it says here. There is a £1.5 pound counterweight bar. Oh, wait, no. There is a 1.5 pound counterweight and also a 3.5 pound counterweight. And it's nice it came in two pieces because you can use one or both depending on your configuration, right? All right, let's actually mount it now. What I plan to do to mount, I already have a tripod. This is just the mount kit. I plan to use the tripod that I'm currently using for my regular Star Adventurer. So I'll be putting my Star Adventurer away for now. And this little guy will live on top of that. And my tripod is probably about maybe 11, 12 years old. It's actually an old CG2 from a Celestron CG2 Equatorial, but it's pretty much, or I would actually say it is of the same design that this mount is actually shown on. So let me get that. All right, here's the tripod I'm going to be using. And let's just unbolt the Star Adventurer from here. Sorry, old friend. Came off nice and easy. I'm just going to put this over here. Should probably check that I'm recording, actually. Which I am. And let's mount this little guy up for the first time. When you're first mounting it up, it's a good idea to unlock all the clutches or just make sure they're unlocked. And we just don't put any stress on the gearing. Just going to turn that like that and should just bolt right up. And there it is, all mounted up. All right, next I'm going to attach the counterweight bar. And I'm going to put this at my latitude. So I'm actually at 47 degrees. So I'm going to see what that looks like. So I'm going to loosen up these bolts here. And then I'm guessing this here will adjust my latitude, which it does. These bolts have a really nice feel to it. I'm actually impressed with it, especially for the price this thing is at. I'm going to lock it down. There's one bolt on each side, so you're going to need to tighten it down. So I got this one here, and then if I turn it around, see this one right here. And this is the bolt I use to adjust it, the angle. Alright, and I did that because I know that the Star Adventurer has two places where you can put the counterweight bar. And I'm curious to see, at 47 degrees, am I able to use the standard one here, or if I have to use this one. Alright, apparently this goes like this. So that's what it's going to look like on the counterweight bar. And it should just thread right in here, right? Which way is tighten? It's this way. And it doesn't have to be super tight on here. It just needs to stay in, right? Wow, look at that. It's been a while since I've had a counterweight bar because I've been shooting with the AM5 for a while. This is really, really nice. I'm noticing right now that the right ascension gearing and the declination has kind of a nice, they're not loose, but it's a tight feel to it, but it's a nice kind of resolution or movement to it. I think that's something I noticed right away. All right, I'm going to install the counterweights on here. I'm going to install at least one counterweight on here. I'm going to install this one on here. Bring this up here. I'm going to loosen this toe saver, as we call it. And counterweight should just slide onto here. And I'm going to tighten it off because obviously I don't want to break my toe. That would suck. And I'll put that toe saver back on, just like that. And I'm going to lock this back down. Nice. All right, now that we got this little guy assembled, let's take a look at the build quality. This is made out of 100% metal. I'm sure it's aluminum. It is fairly lightweight, but it's not plastic. I was wondering because in the photos it kind of looked plasticky, but this is definitely metal up here. All the way up until this cover here. This cover is definitely made of plastic. And it's got this cap here. And on the old Star Adventure, this would always pop off. This seems a little bit better, but I think that this is also probably just going to pop off by itself. Not a big deal though. At least it comes with a cover for the polar scope, which is located here. And looks like we have this tiny screw here. And I think I'm with Alan Wallace on this. This screw is really small. I wish it was a little bit longer. Did you see that pop out? I wish it was a little longer because I'm afraid of actually losing it. It's a small thing, but it is what it is. And yeah, this is 100% plastic here. All right. And we have some battery modules. This one is for 4 AA's. Let me grab the other one. So you're going to get 2 of them, and this apparently, according to the instructions, it will run the Star Adventurer GTI for 36 hours, which is awesome. So those go just like this, and there's lettering here that make sure that you install them correctly. And these come out a lot easier than the old Star Adventurer battery, so thank you, Skywatcher, for doing that. All right, now that I'm looking at it here, at the panel, something that caught my eye here. So there is a 12-volt power source here that you can power the mount to. And then there's this USB port here. And the way that it's facing looks like it'll cover the 12-volt power receptacle. But I don't want to assume that. Let's take a look at the USB cable it came with. I refuse to believe that SkyWatcher would just let that happen. This is not a regular USB, it's actually reversed. Oh. If I plug it in here, yeah, that keeps the cable going this way. I'm assuming it's just the way the PC board was designed. Sometimes it happens where either it's overlooked or it's just a PC board that, you know, they've purchased. So it was less expensive to go this route instead of designing a whole new board for this. But you definitely want to use a right angle adapter with this type of port, because after a few years they'll wear out, and if you use a regular one that just plugs in there, it's just a little bit too much stress on it, and these plugs will definitely disintegrate pretty fast when you use them like nightly, right? But at least they were thinking about that. I don't know how common these plugs are if you need to replace them. I'm sure SkyWatcher will have these, but let me do a quick search on Amazon. All right, here's one. It's not reversed, but you would be able to get one that drapes the cable down this way. So if you needed a replacement and you shopped on Amazon, you'd be able to find one that would work with this that doesn't cover this 12-volt port. I don't plan to be using it, but I think that was kind of a good call out for sure, just in case you need to use it. One other thing that I'm noticing too, and I had hoped that Skywatcher would have fixed this, but this is the same kind of mount that they used on the Star Adventure. It works pretty good. The only problem is this little bolt here will destroy any accessory that you put in it. And here is an example of that. This is the Star Adventurer counterweight bar that came with the original Star Adventure, depending on which one that you got. Over the years, this is what that little bolt will do to your accessories. See that? So if you have a really nice telescope, say a William Optics Z73, you don't want to be using this mount here. So what I did was I purchased a accessory from ADM, and they make a mount that you can replace this with, and it's just a standard D and V style dovetail mount that you would find on regular mounts such as the AM5 or EQ6. Now I'm going to install it on here right now, and all you have to do is remove these 4 screws and bolt it on. Pretty easy. Ooh, and we got another unboxing a little bit, right? Yeah, that knife is too aggressive for this channel, I think. All right. Here is the accessory. Finally got it out. All right, so here's what it comes with. It'll come with this puck-looking thing. And it looks like you're just going to be using these screws in the same spot. And here is the mount. This is really nice. This will run you $89. So if you want this piece, you want to budget $89 from ADM so you can kind of fix this thing right here, because I will not be putting any of my telescopes into that. I do not want to destroy my dovetail mounts. All right, this should work right now. What I'm going to do is remove these 4 screws. It does come out nice and easy. So there's 2. There's number 3. And that's 4. I'm going to keep these screws on the table because we're going to be needing them. So this just pops off like this. Pretty darn easy, right? And let's see. Here is the mounting part for this. And it should just fit right in here, just like that. Look, and it does. Fits really nice. Now we're just going to put the screws in the same place where we removed them. So we're going to start with this corner here. All right, there's 4. Now that I got them in here, I'm just going to tighten them up. Maybe a 1/4 turn each. And now I know it's been torqued on as evenly as I can get it. All right, now I'm going to figure out which way I want to put this. I can either mount it this way, looks like, or I can mount it that way. I prefer all my knobs on the right-hand side. So I'm going to take this off. It looks like this just kind of sits on top like that. And these just get bolted to it here. I'm just going to hand tighten that first and just tighten it up. And that's what it looks like installed. Much better. I know that these will not be scratching any of my really nice telescope accessories. All right, before we take a look at how easy it is to pair up the SynScan app with this, let's take a look at the panel real quick. So right here, you'll see it's got an ST4 port for auto guiding. Also has a hand controller port. That's kind of cool. You can plug in a hand controller from, say, a EQ6R or any of SkyWatcher's mounts and plug it in. I think that's pretty dope. USB and power that we were looking at earlier. Also, the LED looks like, probably to indicate power. The snap port, basically that is a built-in intervalometer. That's why it's important to know how the SynScan app works and how easy it is, because you don't need an external intervalometer if you're going to use like a DSLR and a camera lens with this. This is all you would need, which I think is pretty cool. And then also a power switch. Pretty standard. All right, let's give this thing a little bit of power. So I just installed some AA batteries, and these are rechargeable. All right, here it is in one piece, and what I'm going to do is turn it on, and you'll see the LED. I don't know if you see the LED flashing, but it is flashing. Probably tells me the Wi-Fi is on. So this mount communicates with your phone through Wi-Fi, which I think is also pretty cool. And apparently, let me just put this over here. The only thing I need to do is download the app and turn on the Wi-Fi. Apparently there's no keys, Wi-Fi keys for this, so it should just connect to it right out of the gate. All right, first thing we're going to do is look for the Wi-Fi network. Now let me click on this here. All right, here it is. It's just called SynScan, ZE75. I'm just going to go ahead and attach to it, I guess. Connect. I'm going to connect to it. All right, now that I'm connected to it, I'm just going to fire up SynScan Pro app, and I guess I'm just going to hit connect, maybe? Ooh. And it connected right away. That means I should be able to move this, right? Let's find out. It's actually making a noise, but I don't think I have this. Well, hold on. Let me crank it up. Maybe that's what it is. Oh, look at that. Right out of the gate. Now I removed the counterweight and counterweight bar because I don't have anything on this mount. But it just fired up like instantaneously. That was so easy. But what if you don't want to open network on this? That's pretty weird. Is there a setting for, let's see, read setting. Oh yeah. Looks like you can modify the access point on here too. So you can close it off if you want, which I probably would do for sure, but that's cool that it has that option. And to answer my question, this thing does just pair up so easy to your phone. You will not have an issue. All right, the last thing we need to do is kind of look at the payloads that this little guy can handle, and I'm going to give you some examples of that visually, because this mount can only support up to 11 pounds. I know that doesn't sound like much, but actually it is. Let me show you. All right, got my trusty weight scale here. If you're a photographer, you probably already have a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, and you'll probably be wanting to use your 300mm lens, right? And this is pretty standard issue for us photographers. And this actually weighs just a little over 3 pounds, 3 pounds and 11 ounces. So that's at the base level for the Star Adventurer GTI. We'll handle that no problem. All right, so next up we have the 61mm refractor with a 30mm guide scope, and that's an ASI 120mm mini. It also has a flattener on here with a filter drawer. And this right here is an Astro cam, and this could easily be a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. So the difference in weight between the two is negligible. I just put this on here because I had it handy. There isn't going to be any scenario where we're going to keep this cap on during imaging, so I'm going to take it off. Let's see how much this little guy weighs. So this right here weighs 6 pounds and 9.5 ounces right here. So this is a pretty standard beginner astrophotographer setup, and it's actually pretty awesome. I kind of want to start using this little guy again. It's one of the reasons why I got a GTI, just so that I can do that. Okay, so here's my Zenithstar Z73 APO refractor. I have a ZWO 30mm guide scope on there with an ASI 120mm mini. I have a flattener on here and also a filter drawer and also an Astro cam. Now, again, this could easily be a DSLR on the end of this. So let's weigh it. I'm going to take this off because we don't need it. And I love how beautiful this scope is. All right, now I think it's actually going to be over my scale limit, so I'm going to take off the guide scope. We'll just weigh it separately. All right, the scope and all this weighs 7 pounds, 4.3 ounces, okay? So this big fella here is 7 pounds, and then we're going to add 11 ounces on here, so it's a little bit over 8 pounds with everything. And this is a pretty serious setup right here. And you can also replace this filter drawer with, say, a filter wheel, right? Depending on how you like doing things. 11 pounds is quite a bit, and let's actually go try our new dovetail, right? See what it looks like all balanced, and we'll move it around with the SynScan app. All right, so here's my Z73 on my SkyWatcher GTI mount. This is the heaviest scope I'm ever going to put on this. So let's see what it's like, huh? Maiden slew. Oh, I'm slew it the other way. Wow, handles that without issue. No problem at all. That is awesome. All right, let me park it. I found a park mode here. So let's just go right back to home position, or it should. And Trevor, if you're watching this, it totally does sound like a coffee grinder. And that's it. Supports the Z73 at just over 8 pounds. No problem. So this little mount can handle quite a bit. And I hope you found this demonstration on what you can fit on top of this mount helpful. When did my backlighting die over there? Hopefully it just did that. I don't know. All right, guys. Well, that is my first look at the SkyWatcher Star Adventurer GTI. And I think this mount is worthy of its own series, so I think my next video on this will be how to use the snap port. You just need a cable that fits your DSLR or mirrorless camera. And it allows you to use the mount as also an intervalometer. So we'll be taking a look at that as well as the SynScan Pro app. And I think after that we'll be heading into some ASI Air territory with this mount. So we'll do some deep sky with that. Alright guys, well I hope you found this helpful, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Peace.